Welcome to First Impressions. My name is K.C'arl Lee.
And I am Jason Headley.
So this week, we are going to talk about Flash, Arrow, and Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. I almost said Beyond Batman.
Beyond Batman.
But it is Beyond Batman.
Lego Batman Beyond the Batman.
Yeah.
Beyond Legos.
So which one first? Let's
start with Flash, because that was yesterday. Let's talk about that before we forget what happened.
Flash.
Alright, so if you missed this week's Flash, we're probably going to do some spoilers, so heads up on that.
So, I don't know the episode name, but it must be something like Plastique.
It's Plastique,
right?
yeah. Last night's episode was called Plastique.
Plastique.
So we dealt a little bit with Plastique, who I thought was It's hard, because I think she's a more defined villain than some of the past villains. Although I don't know that she was necessarily defined well. Like, I didn't really care what happened to her.
Well, I think as a character and as a person, I think I liked her, and that counted. Versus, you know, sometimes when they introduce a villain of the week or somebody of the week, you really don't care and you're not really drawn to them. Mm-hmm. So you said you didn't care, but you didn't care a little? I was a little drawn to her.
I wanted to see her throw more of those exploding ball things. And that was pretty cool.
I don't know.
She did it once. She like rolled them.
I mean, I don't know if I like the effect of it either. Things turn purple, but I don't know. Not just purple, but it was kind of like cosmic purple-y.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's odd,
but we have a new villain now, which is that like army commander guy.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
I don't know why army commanders always have to wear camo, even when they're like hanging out in the middle of the city.
I think that's got some history with Dr. Wells. Is that?
Yeah.
Dr. Wells.
Which is good. I think Dr. Wells needs someone who can kind of counterbalance him, because he's been so busy stabbing everyone. It's nice to see someone that he doesn't just get up and stab.
That's right.
Clearly this guy has a little bit more going on that we have to be worried about. And then we dealt with also Barry's issues with Iris.
Oh, I didn't believe that.
Yeah, we can't see each other anymore because you're writing a blog.
Yeah, the reason why you're writing a blog is for me.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Really?
Here's the thing, I just don't like Iris very much. And I've said this while we've been watching the show, but she's very like season 1 of Arrow Laurel for me. Yeah. Where every time she shows up on screen, I just want to like hit something because she's so obnoxious. But you know what? Now that being said, Arrow has done a really good job of developing Laurel. We'll talk more about that when we talk about Arrow. So maybe there's hope. And then finally, we should talk about that cliffhanger at the end.
Oh, Flash?
Flash.
I can't remember it.
With Gorilla Grodd.
Oh.
Which is pretty exciting.
Well, I'm glad they brought it back around, you know, from the little teaser from the first episode. So that's good, because it makes it seem like, oh, they've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
It was part of the plan all along. Yeah. I guess it was nice to make that connection. Otherwise, it would have just been some weird Easter egg in the beginning that had nothing to do with anything. So, yes.
Do you think that Gorilla Grodd will be, like, a pretty substantial villain this season? Or do you think it's, like, setting up something for a one-shot episode?
I feel like that's got to come down the line, like, near the end of the season, if anything. Because he's pretty big in the Flash world. And he also talks, so... You know,
it's basically be Planet of the Apes, the TV show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I hope they do what they did with the New 52 Gorilla Grodd and really connected it to the Speed Force, which made me like him more. Because normally I don't like dinosaurs or, you know, gorillas in, well...
Well, it seems like more like they're doing, like, testing on this gorilla, right? We'll have to see what happens. So out of 5, what would you give this episode of Flash?
I gave it 3.5.
Oh, I gave it about a 3. It was not my favorite episode, but definitely, there hasn't been a horrible episode of the show so far. I just feel like
this horrible.
Was probably one of my least favorite, with the exception of the final twist, which I thought was awesome. I loved that they introduced Gorilla Grodd. I thought that was really cool. So let's move on to Arrow, which we literally finished watching. We're 4 minutes into this video. We finished watching it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So what do you think of tonight's episode of Arrow?
This episode of Arrow. What happened?
What happened? We dealt a lot with Ted this week.
Yeah, Ted and we also found out the whole thing with Roy and his Miracle days.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how they decide to, this is a spoiler, but how they decide that it was him remembering him killing a cop and not really Sarah. Is that really just to make him feel better, or is that really the truth? And do they really believe it?
I get the feeling that's the truth, though it was very convenient, I thought.
Yeah.
That was really convenient.
It's true, it could be the truth, but it is super convenient.
Which makes last week when we saw him killing her kind of just seem like a really cheap like cliffhanger.
You know what I really do like is how they brought in elements of Roy's character from the comics, which he did feel like he was abandoned by Ollie, and he also had drug issue problems, and then they also call him Arsenal kind of.
Yeah, that was great.
So I thought, oh, that's really great. That's cool to bring these things together, because Roy's character up to this point has been kind of
this
lacking.
season he's been a little not a lot going on. So it was nice to see him get a storyline, and I am, like I just said with the Flash, I am really excited for Laurel. Just today, the first images of her as Black Canary came out. I am super stoked for that. And not only for the character, but I was saying earlier, as an actress, that's gotta be really cool to play this character for going into 3 seasons now, and now finally in this show, because of the nature of the show, she gets to get some action, put on a mask herself, which I think is so cool for that actress and for that character.
I'm predicting with the flat... What?
The arrow just like...
I'm predicting with the Flash Arrow crossover that somewhere in there Laurel is, in Star Labs and something happens and they give her, or somehow she gains that sonic canary cry ability.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool.
You know what I mean? I think that's gonna happen because she's supposed to debut as Black Canary
right after
on the 10th episode, so it makes total sense.
So that will be awesome. Did this week have we had a cliffhanger at the end where they introduced Cupid. That really made me
was she real?
Not excited for next week.
We can't have another Arrow character. There's just too many. I mean, does she really exist in the
I don't know. Does she? Does she?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's really good that you changed out of your pajamas now that you did that, because that would have been weird when you're going to fix that thing. But anyway, overall I liked the episode. I feel like we did this in season 2 as well, where there were like 2 or 3 really slow episodes around this time of year, right before the show really picked up and got awesome for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where we're at. We're at that mid-fall kind of slump, but there's still good episodes. But
yeah, I don't know about the next. The next episode just looks like it might be slightly.
It looks, but then after that, don't we start the crossover?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and that'll be awesome. So, out of 5, what would you give this week's Arrow?
I feel like giving it a 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 too, because I'm also going to give it a 3 because again, it was a good episode and there was some cool action. Now, I do want to point out something. I wanted to talk about this. Why does Roy have to do a backflip every time he attacks someone? Because he has a bow and arrow. He doesn't have to flip around to hit people.
You know how many times where he does a flip really unnecessarily?
It happens all the time.
Yeah, he does it all the time.
I don't have no other character is so compelled to flip around the screen that often.
Well, I guess they need to, put his flip quota in for the episode.
Like, is there going to be a character on the Flash that like randomly spins around in circles? Are you gonna eat some? That's awesome. Wow. This episode of First Impressions is brought to you by Pumpkin Pie. Now, finally, we want to talk about LEGO Batman 3, which just came out yesterday. We had a chance to play for a good couple of hours last night. Now, this is your first LEGO game, so what do you think? It's your first LEGO game on a console. You played on iPad before, right?
See.
Yeah, so what do you think so far?
It's not that different from the iPad version, and, I thought when I first played the iPad version how inventive and creative it was, with how you could build things and how they incorporate multiple characters into the game. And I can say the same about this, but it's on a larger scale, I think.
Right.
Even more characters than ever. I mean, we didn't even get that far, but they, introduced a bunch of characters and got to integrate them into the storyline.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing some of these other characters that are going to be introduced, because they've been, doing sneak peeks and little teasers on who these characters will be, and there's a bunch of them that have not been introduced yet. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how long the game is, because it feels like the game could be pretty substantial in length, just given everything we've seen introduced so far.
How many levels is it?
I have no idea. I really like the aspect of changing costumes, which I know is something that was in other LEGO Batman games. I know that's not original to this one, but I think that's cool, because that's something... I only played a little bit of the first LEGO Batman. I didn't play the second LEGO Batman. But I played like LEGO Marvel, and compared to that one, LEGO Marvel has a more open world than this one does, but it doesn't have that changing costume aspect, which I think is pretty cool. No. Now, not every character has a changing costume, but the ones that do, I think that's really cool. Also, playing as the Flash is awesome. And we really like that when you fly with certain characters, it plays their theme song. Because the first time we jumped in the air and started playing with Wonder Woman and it played the theme, that was the most exciting moment of the game. Like, that was awesome.
And Superman had his classic song, and of course they had the Batman animated series song going on. And I heard that if you hover over the characters in that whole lineup thing, they start going Green Arrow or whatever.
We haven't really opened up that section yet, where you can like select levels and look at characters.
We also got the DLCs.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten. We're still sort of in the opening, but the opening is pretty substantial.
Yeah, it makes me think though. I mean, come on, you had a whole level in the Batcave just trying to leave the Batcave, which story-wise is kind of crazy.
Yeah, listen, Lego guys.
Oh my god, we gotta get out of here! It takes an hour.
If Batman has to put together his ship every time he leaves, he's not going anywhere. Because it took us a good hour
for
to put
everything
that ship back together.
Oh, we gotta get gas. Oh, we forgot this. We gotta do that.
Why is that?
We gotta get up there somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know how to get there in my own Batcave.
Why is the top of the Batwing not already attached to it? I don't understand.
Well, the whole thing was not ready. But you had to figure out how to make everything. Come into play. I mean, I understand because it's a game, but
but it's a great game for families. It's a great game to play together. It's a great game for people who don't normally play games on consoles.
And you know what I like about the fact that it's a two-player thing? What do you call it? A co-op game?
Co-op.
That both characters are very specific types, and so they do very specific things that the other character does not do, and so you really need the second character almost, and so it makes it more valuable to be the second player.
I mean, I'll put this forth that. So I play a lot of console games, but Carl doesn't play a lot of console games, so console's a little bit newer to him. So when we play certain games, it has, I mean, and a lot of people I'm sure who have played console with someone who doesn't play as much console have felt that whole thing where they're like running ahead and the other person's like, oh, what are we doing next? And
I'm always running, chasing after somebody. Right. Where are we going?
But with this game, because the two people are very necessary to whatever puzzle you're solving, it never feels that way. You really feel on equal playing field, and I think that's great. Cool. So I don't know if I want to give it a review yet, but if I have to, I'll give it a first impression review. So my first impressions of this game, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh.
What are you gonna give it?
I would give it a 4.
Yeah, really fun so far. There's a few cheap deaths so far of like cutscene like things that have caused me to fall off of cliffs, which are annoying to me.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Although since it's a Lego game, it's not like I'm getting punished for falling off a cliff. Like I'm losing a little bit of money.
Sometimes I think there's a hallway and it's a cliff. And I mean, one thing that's making it very exciting for me is the anticipation of these other characters being introduced. I mean, we saw Beast Boy. I saw Beast Boy on YouTube and Frankenstein. Yeah. They're insanely cool.
And all the characters feel very different to play, and I like that a lot. Like, I mean, now Cyborg and Batman feel similar, but Flash feels completely different than playing Batman and Robin, which I think is awesome.
I like that.
So, cool. Well, that is our week of first impressions. We brought you some TV shows and some video games this week. And next week we'll be coming back to you hopefully with some comics as well. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. The more you like and subscribe, the more we can get tape that holds things up. And also make sure to follow our blogs and follow us on Twitter at Carl K. Lee and at Cucamonga. We will see you guys next week. You want to salute? Oh, you're just going to do that. Oh, that's great.